Shocking instance of VIP high-handedness, Veera. A senior bureaucrat in Odisha, BMC Additional Commissioner Ratnakar Sahu was brutally assaulted in broad daylight. We saw the video a few days ago, and this was allegedly over a phone call that he made to a BJP leader there. Remember, BJP is also the ruling party in Odisha. The attackers, believed to be political workers, stormed into his office, dragged him out by his collar and punched and kicked him in full public view. This was something that was clearly humiliating for not just him but also to all his colleagues.
How on earth can we allow this to happen? As visuals went viral and outrage mounted, 3 of the 6 accused were arrested. But the storm had already hit. Officers from the Odisha Administrative Service and Odisha Revenue Service have threatened to go on a mass leave. Their demand is clear: the arrest of BJP leader Jagannath Pradhan, who they allege was behind the assault. Pradhan denies involvement, calls the allegations politically motivated and says he's ready to cooperate with the police.
Well, meanwhile, the BJP has suspended 5 workers, including a corporator, but the bureaucracy isn't convinced. The man in question here, Jagannath Pradhan, admitted that he knows some of the men that were involved in the assault, but at the heart of this is a question: if an officer inside his office is not safe from political muscle, what does that say about administrative independence is an important question.
That's right, and this is not an isolated incident, Vasudha. The culture of impunity, as you pointed out, needs to be challenged and questioned.
Yes, Veera, there have been many instances of this, from Himachal Pradesh, where a Congress minister assaulted highways official, to Uttar Pradesh, where an MLA was accused of using his men to assault a passenger on Vande Bharat just because he did not part with his seat. That is what we discussed today. Impunity is seriously something that we need to talk about. We will be joined by a panel of guests, but we'll also have Saurabh Gupta, my colleague who tracks Odisha very closely. Saurabh, explain to us the latest update in this case. This incident happened a few days ago. What has happened since then? The mass leave that was issued, that was a threat that was issued by the government officials. Is it on? How are the political parties reacting to this?
Well, Naveen Patnaik issued a very strong statement. Naveen Patnaik is, of course, the BJD, Biju Janata Dal chief and also the former chief minister. But this is something that's become a bit of an issue, with bureaucrats also now pressing for the arrest of the main accused, who clearly has assured cooperation. But the bureaucrats obviously saying that if his men are involved in this, then, and if the reason for assaulting this officer in such a brutal manner, as you can see in these visuals, was because there was some sort of insult to him, then obviously why should he not be arrested? And that's the deputation that they submitted to the Chief Minister of Odisha, Mohan Majhi. Now, he hasn't been arrested yet, and which is why Mr. Pradhan's arrest has become a bone of contention. The Odisha bureaucrats are continuing their protest, and that's something that's affecting government work as well, because remember, this is a time where there are floods in certain places in Odisha. It's also a very busy time of the year because of the Jagannath Rath Yatra. So all of these things are perhaps important to note, but at the same time, how do people get away with assaulting bureaucrats, with assaulting others? And especially if you're a politically connected person, why should the law not apply equally on you? That's the question I think everyone's asking.
Okay.
The fact, Vasudha, that somebody can walk into a government office and do this itself is scary. The fact that it can happen, that's the scary aspect.
Absolutely. Santrup Mishra, Political Secretary to the BJD President, Shri Naveen Patnaik, and also Professor Geeta Bhatt, who's a political analyst, and Dr. Hamid Hussain, spokesperson of the Congress Party, joining us now. Thank you, all of you, for joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Mishra, to you first. What is the BJD, sir, doing about this? You've all been talking about anarchy in different forms, but is the BJD planning to launch an agitation? What is the BJD, as the primary opposition party, doing about this?
Thank you so much for having me on your program. So first of all, let me say that in incidents of this kind, we all need to rise above politics. This is not about politics. There are 3 fundamental questions of principle that arise here. Number 1, can violence be used in a democracy as a legitimate instrument by political parties? Question number 2, when it is a matter of protecting members of a political party versus upholding law and order, for which a government has been sworn in under oath, which one do they choose? And finally and lastly, if it is a choice between protecting members of a political party, which is also the ruling party, vis-a-vis protecting the employees of the government, who are your employees through whom you do development, which one do you choose? And I think these are questions of principle. I'm sorry to say that in 24 years of Sri Naveen Patnaik's government, there were such cases never there in Odisha. He never dealt with leniency or discrimination. And it is sad that this is happening. And let me just point out one other thing. This is the culmination, or rather the extreme manifestation of a trend that has been there. And with your permission, I would like to quote a letter that Odisha Administrative Service Association has
Mr.
written
Mishra,
to its
but
members,
has the BJD ever
and
taken
while
action
appealing to
against
the government to take
somebody
action.
in your own party? Has the BJD ever taken action against, one of your own? Because that is something that political parties don't do often.
If you look at the track record of Naveen Patnaik's government, the entire 24 years, anytime there have been allegations of any kind against ministers, legislators, he has never hesitated to take strongest action against all of them, including dropping them if necessary from his own cabinet or council of ministers. I think during his tenure, there was a law and order, there was discipline, there was development. All of it was possible because he did not compromise on principles, even if these were members of his own party.
Professor Geeta Bhatt, respond. This impunity is unacceptable.
Well, you see, if any kind of offense, a physical assault has been done on any government officer, irrespective of whether which party is in government, I think it is very important that an action must be taken by the government as per the legal norms. And it is unfortunate to know that this kind of, a manhandling, beating of an officer was done in Odisha. And as one can see that the party has taken a very quick action of suspending those who were involved in this case, as along with it, the corporator from Bhubaneswar, even he has been suspended from the party. They have been arrested. So the legal action, the due course has been taken by the government there. And I'm sure that as per the legal course which will be taken up, whatever is punishment would be given to those who are accused. But at the same time, I think it is important that we need to look at such, this kind of a trend that has happened when, people who come into power, they start feeling that, they can get away with impunity. And
right.
Kindly give me, I want to just come with the same kind of an incident that has happened in Himachal Pradesh, where the Congress government is
Dr.
there.
Hussain, at least in UP, the person, the assaulting MLA was given a show cause notice by the BJP. In Odisha also, this particular person, Mr. Pradhan, Jagannath Pradhan, was asked to at least appear before the state president. But nothing of that sort has happened in Himachal Pradesh. So high-handedness is not really limited to a BJP ruling state, isn't it?
Rightly said, that is a very shocking incident. I mean, it is deplorable. It has to be condemned, and action has to be taken. I don't think, in regard to Odisha, I'm telling you, I'm from Odisha, and I'm speaking to you from Odisha only. In regard to Odisha, it's never such things have happened in Odisha. There is a political neutrality as far as the bureaucracy is concerned. That political neutrality is gone. There's a modus operandi of BJP has been, to terrorize the officers and to ask them to toe the line for illegal favor. That is what the BJP is doing. It is not one isolated incident about Jagannath Pradhan. This case happened at airport also, where one, Gomesh Khandelwal, one RSS man had come and he was being harassed and he was beaten up. And the case is pending against him in the airport. The second incident also happened a month back, which is, in the Odisha Housing Board Society, where Jagannath Pradhan's men went there and vandalized the office and terrorized the officers. This is the typical way or modus operandi of BJP to terrorize the officers, to toe the line for illegal favor, for contracts or whatever, or pecuniary benefits, or, to subsidize the entire system. I'll tell you, the person is being favored and the party is not taking action as per the law. Because the sections that are involved, you see, say 353, there are 221, 321, 307, 34, all these sections are not involved in when a fire is lost. The police people are trying to favor and try to hush up things. Like it is, they have obstructed an officer from doing his duty. They have vandalized the office. He is being dragged out.
Absolutely.
He is thrashed, and there is attempt to murder, and there is an injury also. These all the sections have to be included.
No, you're
And the
making a
police
very
is also trying to
important
protect
point.
because
Let me
he is
just
very
get
close to the
Saurabh.
cabinet minister. Yeah, he was the candidate, BJP candidate from central,
You're making a very serious allegation.
Bhubaneswar, and he is a very
Gupta,
senior leader.
what are
And
you
such
hearing
leaders,
from other
they do it
bureaucrats,
this way, and the party
officers?
supports. And party
Let's
doesn't
leave
take
the
action. Party has to take
political
action.
face-off
Government has to
aside,
take action.
what are bureaucrats telling you,
The entire system has
Saurabh?
come to a standstill. The entire system.
The fact is that there has to be a certain sense of security. It's unimaginable that a bureaucrat, a senior one, sitting in his office can be pulled out by thugs belonging to a political party and be assaulted like this. And this is something that's, they say, is clearly dented the morale of the serving officers, and therefore their protest is continuing. And the deputation to the chief minister is also to press upon him that there needs to be visible action, especially not just against the foot soldiers, but against the person whom they believe is the reason why this attack on this bureaucrat took place. So in that context, they want action against the main accused, and they're pressing for it, and they're continuing their protest as well till that part of their demand is actually addressed.
Mishra, there seems to be no agitation from the BJD's point of view, because all oppositional action is being done by the Congress party in Odisha. So where are these? There needs to be some sense of political resonance with these agitating officials. What is the BJD, how is the BJP looking at this issue politically?
No, BJD is absolutely condemning and is with the officers who are agitating. We have been widely circulating all our support, and on the ground we know what is going to happen. We have been demanding about arrest of Jagannath Pradhan and anybody else who are involved in this incident. But you stopped me at a point where I was going to quote you. This is culmination. There is a trend. And the OS Officers Association has written, and I quote, "The incident is not an isolated one, and it is being observed that a narrative has been set up for past 1 year to humiliate government servants and even resorting to bodily threat, physical assault and mental agony." Unquote. If there is such a statement from government employees, I would expect every government that is sensible to go into the details to find out what is the ground reality.
Absolutely,
Unfortunately,
Mishra,
this government remains silent on this subject.
Right. Thank you all of you for joining us on this broadcast. Veera, clearly this is not an isolated incident. It is about not letting the law be bent by those who hold power in multiple instances across the country. Something really tells us that that needs to be checked.
That's right. Political power and the brazen misuse of it and impunity, irrespective of which political party, needs to be questioned. But that's all we have time for on the Southern View. News and updates continue right here on NDTV.